In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create an order button using the Easy Opt-in Builder. Not only does it create opt-in forms, but it also has a feature where you can use the button generator for add to cart buttons or any type of button that you want that goes to another URL. It could be a checkout URL, a payment URL, or just to a different web page. And you simply click on Easy Opt-in Builder, click on Add New Opt-in Form. And here you can see on the very bottom it has a default buy button, but you don't have to use a default. I will use, for example, the title buy button right there. And if you do not want to use the default, just simply click on buy button down below, activate the buy button, and you can put in the URL, for example, PayPal or what have you. Okay, and same window or new window. Usually checkout buttons are the same window, and then you can just obviously you want to design your button, and this is where you do the designing of the button in this window here. If you want the default button, then just go back to the very beginning and click on the default button right here. If you want to create your own, simply click on here and create your own button. For example, click on generate, and here it is here. So let me, for example, click here to get instant access, and obviously it has a little mail icon. First of all, I have to decide, do I want an icon at all? And if I want an icon off or I want it on. If I do want it on, then I can come down below and pick which one I want. Now there's a whole lot of different icons. This is going to be a add to cart icon, so it does have a checkout icon, and here it is right here. If you hover over it, it says shopping cart. Click on that there, and this will be ready to use. There it is up there. And also, do I want the icon on the right or the left? Okay, and then here you pick your, there's a number of default button colors that you can choose from. Whatever you want to use here. Also the size, it can be extra large or large. There's a default, small, even mini, or a block size is a certain block of your container of your web page. For example, this is my web page right here. This entire thing would be a block. If I created a table, the block would be that table width. All right. So whatever it is your table width, that would be your block. So on this content page right here, the entire width here would be the block. So there's a block mini. You see how it goes across the entire area, but it's small. And there's the block small, block default, and then there's the block large, and then the block extra large. So let's say, for example, let's use the block extra large just to show you what it looks like. All I need to do is click on insert, and it adds it right here. Here you got an option here if I want to add a gradient effect. If I click on the gradient generator, I got a number of different options, and I can use the hue saturation. If I just want this color right here, or I want to add a different hue to it, different lightness to it, and so forth, I can make all my changes. It's got some default colors, and I just click on insert and it'll add that gradient. Okay. As well, what font size do I want? Do I want to make the font larger or smaller? Leave blank for default. So if I want to make it, for example, really big, I'll make it 20. What color do I want the button font to be? White or any color that I want. Also, what text do I want to have as a font? This is really cool. I like this. Also, you can have a border, and a border is really cool, and I'll show you how that works in a second. Also, what style do I want to have around it? For example, I can put, for example, 3, and I can put a black, for example, all right, for border width, and the border color is black, and it's going to be solid. You'll see here that obviously, do I want the border to go around the entire button, or just on the top, or just on the bottom? So for example, I'll just pick the bottom. And also I can have a drop shadow around it, and the radius, I can have the corners circular, and I'll show you how this affects it in a minute. So let me just save the changes right here, and changes are saved, and it's opt-in ID number 24. So you add the short code. I'm just going to change the short code to 24 right here. That's the short code, and I'm going to save this. There it is right there. See that? And it's going to go to paypal.com. If I do that, there's a little black border on the bottom. So let's just make some changes, and I'll show you exactly what changes they are. So for example, I'll make the border a little bit thicker. So if I make it 7, and you'll see here that if I obviously make the radius, I'll show you what the radius looks like. If I make the radius 50, and if I save the change, and if I come back, you'll see that the border on the bottom is going to be thicker, but it's also going to have a radius. It's going to be a circle around the sides from the radius. Let me refresh, and there it is there. See? So that's pretty cool. It looks pretty good. And if I click on there, it's going to bring me right to PayPal, just like this. And let me go back, and there's the button. Obviously, I can come back here and I can make it smaller if I want, and I can do other features that I want. Obviously, if I want to make it smaller, obviously, here's a quick trick. If I want to make it smaller, what you can do is click on this button here, and you'll see the different sizes here. If I click on large, or extra large, or default, all you need to do is take this right here, come back here, and just replace it with that right there. That's the different size. All right, so I will come back here and I will save the changes, and I'll come back and I'll refresh, and you'll see the different size here. See that? Now it's got a big font because I forgot to change the font to reflect the size of it here. So it's got it still looks pretty good though. Also the border is kind of thick still. So if I go back, and if I, for example, if I take the border to say 3, and the font is going to be default, so I'll just delete that and save changes, and I will, there you go. So there it is right there. Isn't that cool? There's a button, and it's as simple as that, and you can put that anywhere on your site, and it's responsive, and it works great. Thank you.